Happy New Year and welcome to Simply Nico episode number 5. My name is Nico Giovanni Romero, but you can simply call me Nico. This is a vlog where I share what I'm learning as I learn it. So if at any time anything could use further clarification, please feel free to leave feedback in the comments. I'm happy to hear it. For today, we're going to be diving into all about FHA loans, which are commonly used by first-time homebuyers as a great way to get your foot in the door as a homeowner. At the end of the video, I'm going to list out some key takeaways on criteria and requirements for FHA. Obviously not all of them, but just some good information to leave with. But on that note, let's get started. So here's the truth about FHA loans. You've probably heard me say that they're government insured loans, and here's why. So the Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD, insures FHA loans, which then allows lenders to have the ability to give borrowers more lenient criteria to qualify because they're protected by damages or from damages by the insuring of those loans from HUD. So say a borrower defaults, well, the lender has less risk because HUD will insure some of those damages. So FHA loan criteria are more lenient. However, there still are underwriting guidelines, and those are based on 4 C's: credit, capacity, cash, and collateral. Credit obviously being your credit history, capacity being your employment history, your deposit history, bank statements, things of that nature. Cash being the cash you have at hand to close, so down payment and closing costs. And collateral being the value or the appraised value of the home. So now that we know why and how FHA loans have more lenient borrowing criteria, as well as what are the underwriting guidelines, what are the main categories that you would go through if you were looking to qualify for an FHA loan, let's go into a little bit more detail. So first category is credit. And with FHA compared to conventional loans, the credit requirement is lower with FHA. The letter of the law requirement is 580 as the minimum credit score if you're going to be putting 3.5% down. In terms of capacity, there are actually no specific requirements in terms of employment history, although 2 years of employment history is recommended as a general sense. In terms of student loans and other federal debt, you should have not missed any payments and not be in a default or in delinquent for any student loan or federal accounts. And lastly, the debt to income or DTI ratios are actually higher in comparison to conventional loans. We'll get into what DTI stands for and how to calculate it in the next episode. A little nuance with DTI and FHA loans: if you're at that limit or if you exceed the DTI limit, you could still potentially qualify for that loan if you show you've paid your rents on time with no lates consistently for about a year or two. That could be your qualification. Next is the cash to close, which the bulk item for this topic is the down payment. For FHA, the minimum requirement for a down payment is 3.5%, which gives a little bit more buying power for those first-time home buyers that don't have the cash saved up to put down a 10, 15, 20% down payment on a conventional loan. In addition to this, gifts are allowed with FHA loans for the entire down payment amount. Caveat is that the gift must be from a relative or an employer, and it must not be repaid back to the relative or employer. It must be a gift. So last of the 4 C's of underwriting is collateral. So the property and the value of the home that you're proposing for the FHA loan. The first of the topics for collateral is the condition of the property, and it must be in good condition. Yes, it can require some rehab, but it must not be dilapidated. Since they're more lenient on the borrower and the borrower's criteria and their capacity, they are more strict, they're stricter on the condition of the property. As well, it must be owner occupied. So you must occupy the home as your primary residence for at least 1 year. After that first year, you may do as you wish. Last but not least, as we're going through this truth about FHA loans, I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about mortgage insurance. And as you can tell through this video, the reason for the mortgage insurance is the potentially lower down payment, lower credit scores, and higher debt-to-income ratios that creates a little bit more uncertainty when issuing these types of loans. So with that being said, the two different types of mortgage insurance that are tacked onto FHA loans are upfront mortgage insurance, or UFMIPs for upfront mortgage insurance premium, and annual mortgage insurance, or just mortgage insurance premium. So this upfront is a one-time, at the creation of your loan, it's a payment that's due then, or it can be financed into the loan. Then, additionally, every year, which broken down into 12 different payments, which goes into your monthly mortgage payment, would be your annual or your mortgage insurance premium. And this mortgage insurance premium can be removed once LTV and term criteria are met. And in addition, this MIP, mortgage insurance premium, can be compared to PMI, or private mortgage insurance, which is tacked on sometimes with a conventional loan. These two can be compared to pretty similarly, and mortgage insurance premium may be less, so it's always nice to compare those, both options, conventional and FHA. So as we wrap up, I want to give you guys some key takeaways with some requirements and then some criteria for FHA loans. Key requirements for FHA loans is mortgage insurance, an appraisal, and that it's owner occupied. So to round out the video and leave you guys with some takeaways, we're going to give you some key borrowing criteria, which is 3.5% minimum down payment, a 580 minimum credit score, but recommended to get it up to 640 and above, and DTI of 31% front end and 43% back end. And like I said, we're going to get into DTI later. And not listed here is employment history, which is not a requirement, but it's recommended to have 2 years of employment history listed. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope this was really helpful as we dove into the truth about FHA loans. If there's anything I missed or you guys want further clarification on anything, please drop comments below and tune in next week to episode number 6 of Simply Nico. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.